Yeah, Coach. Just looking at this Vanderbilt team and the progress that they've made under Coach Ralph over the past 3 years she's been there. Just what can you say about that progress, and then what makes this team talented?
Well, they may be, in my opinion, if not the most improved team in the league, one of the most improved teams in the league. I don't know that I'll have to do much motivating other than to tell our team they beat Mississippi State and they beat Auburn and we didn't.
Coach, I want to take you a little bit off the beaten path here, if I may. So we're watching Kaitlyn Clark, and she's about to become the all-time leading scorer on the women's side, and she's about to pass Kelsey Plum, but she also has a good shot at outscoring Lynette Woodard, who you played on the '84 Olympic team with. So, do you think that maybe Lynette, her accomplishments might be getting lost in this whole story of watching, the record chase, and do you think maybe the NCAA could do a little bit more to recognize her accomplishments?
Are you talking about Lynette is not being recognized because it was AIAW days? Well, that would affect me because I played and won a championship during the AIAW days, and then the next year in '82, the NCAA took over. Well, I don't walk around and tell people I only won one national championship. I tell them I won two as a player. So I'm a little bit sensitive to the AIAW folks and the people that made sure we had an avenue to play and to be recognized. So, let's make it perfectly clear. Clark is a generational player. When I saw her in the Final Four last year, it's the first time I've ever seen her in person, and she's on pace to break every record, men or women. We're all going to have discussions on, well, there should be asterisks because it was during the time when there was not a three-point shot, and asterisks when there was not, it was AIAW. At the end of the day, we're talking about women's basketball, and I love it.
After the game, you guys talked about the job that Poa did in getting her the minutes. How did it go in film, and how do you hope to proceed with that?
Well, we were off yesterday. We have to give them, so many mandatory days off. So today will be the first day in the film room with them since the Florida game, and also we'll be preparing for Vanderbilt, and we'll talk about both like we always do, and hopefully this past game against Florida is Poa's going to continue down that path because it gives me an opportunity to have a great rotation when I can move Haley to the off guard some.
It'd be nice if we could have a whole press conference talk about the AIAW of all these students who are here. I'm sure they don't know.
They were
not too
probably
much.
not even born.
Oh, definitely not even born. Morrow had that great game, obviously 18 and 20 rebounds, and she's not very tall. She's not any taller than Michaela or Flaugier, probably. I'm sure you've watched a lot of film on her, but now that you've seen her in person, so what does she do that allows her to play bigger or get into position to rebound so well, even though she doesn't have great height?
Well, she leaps out of the gym. She's a tremendous leaper, and when you're small and you're guarding big in the post area, you move your feet. You tend to have to move your feet. You can't get caught behind, and so I think she anticipates well. She has made me as a coach this year do more hedging when there's on-ball screens involved with post players. I was always hesitant because I was 6'9" and 6'5" and 6'7", and I didn't think we could hedge very good without picking up an early foul. And she does it instinctively, and so consequently now Angel does it more. And they're athletic in there. She's very athletic. She's strong. She probably has a six-pack better than all you media people. She's just God-given body. Just you can do it if you're undersized and you have all those qualities.
Cam, we know you got it in the lead up to the NCAA tournament last year in terms of some players buying into some position shifts and lineup shifts. Have you started having those conversations with some players if some are getting more, if they may have to sit on the bench for a little while longer? Have you had those conversations?
No, heavens no. You just make decisions throughout the course of a game, what you're going to do, and you're referring last year, I think, when I moved Carson to coming off the bench and Kateri, I put her in the lineup. That was not a discussion with them individually. It was a discussion in a film session to say this is who's going to be guarding who based upon size, physicalness. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you start, you just want to play. And I think Carson played pretty darn good.
Did you see a little bit more of the grit in that Florida game?
Absolutely. I saw grit. I saw things that we worked on and emphasized during the bye week. I saw grit at the beginning of the game. Now, it didn't start off all that smooth, but the grit was there, the toughness, the energy, the physicalness, and it stayed throughout the game. And that's rewarding to see, is that they understood, they listened, and they went out and just did their job.
And then can you use that on the film to show them that's what's going to take the rest of the year?
Sure. And you talk to them about it, and then you get on the floor and go to work on Vanderbilt and try to win one on the road. We've got 4 left, on the road and 3 at home. So try to see if we can win enough to get to the SEC tournament and feel good about ourselves and come back and see what the NCAA thinks and see what happens. It's that time of year.
Yeah, Coach. Michaela's always so even-keeled, so focused. But being in these big games for her, how have you seen her, lock in, or how have you seen her grow just from these experiences?
Well, playing helps her grow. And it doesn't matter if she's playing good or playing bad, she has to play. And I can only think that the more you play, the better you're going to get, the quicker you're going to understand things at this level. And you've seen some really, really good stuff from Michaela. And then you've probably seen some things where that's a freshman out there. But sure, I'm glad I get to coach her.
Coach, do you think this is a team that can consistently do the things that you worked on last week? You say physicality. Is this a team that can bring that not just in one game, but you think every game the rest of the season?
Sure, absolutely. They better bring it, because people are going to bring it to them. And so they have taken their little licks through the season. Not a lot, but taking some licks. And I think they are little by little figuring it out that, we can play this game too.
Coach, 106 points against Florida. It's the most by this program in an SEC game. Is that the kind of achievement that you guys celebrate or even really pay attention to, or is it just another win?
Just another win. I think Grant said it in the press conference after the game, and I made him repeat it because I really was like, what did you just say? It doesn't matter. We're looking at improvement to win not just the Florida game, but other games. Actually, it's kind of surprising to me that was a record. And as I'm coaching out there, I'm really not even looking at the scoreboard. I'm just looking at kids that gave us valuable minutes, and I'm thinking we need to keep them in that mode right there so that they can continue to give us great minutes down the stretch.
Coach, having a player like Angel who can pass as well as she can, what does that unlock for your offense?
Angel was doubled and triple teamed a lot last year, if you remember. You don't see that much anymore. Now, why? Why don't you see that much anymore? I don't know. You may ask other coaches. It could be because we have scoring at all positions. It could be that they feel like they can guard her now one-on-one. But Angel still finds ways to get the ball to the open player. And I think the last game, didn't she have 6 assists to maybe like 1 turnover? Angel loves passing the ball, and she loves bringing the ball up the floor. Now, I have to tell her sometimes, get the ball to your guards. But she's going to pass it if she thinks that you've got a better shot. Have you seen anybody make a better pass to Haley Van Lith over the head? She missed the shot, but that was a beautiful pass. Keep throwing it in there and let her make decisions for us.
Has she gotten better with her passing, you think? From
Who,
last year?
Angel?
Yeah.
She's been good.
Okay.
She's been good with passing. She's just, sometimes she really passes it and she should shoot it. But no, that's something that Angel just does on her own.
It seemed like South Carolina State really tried to dog y'all up court, really defend you full court or three-quarter court and make you work the shot clock. But Florida didn't do as much of that. Were you able to run Florida out of that, or did they not try to do as much of that? And how do you combat that other than, getting into your fast break, which y'all are very good at?
Well, South Carolina's the #1 team in the country. They can do a lot of things to a lot of people. Florida has athletes, perimeter scoring, and perimeter defenders, really. They have some quickness out there. I don't know if it was by choice they didn't, or we just didn't give them time. We were pushing the ball up the floor. From the tip, we were pushing it. Now, when we went to the bench in the last 5 minutes, they started doing all that double and whatever. I don't get that. You're up 40. I don't understand why you would do that to your bench, but I can't coach their team. I meant to rest kids and get our bench on the floor.
Coach, Haley Van List's tenacity on Sunday, you saw that on film. Is there anything that you saw on film that you might have missed on Sunday that's encouraging? And also, when was the last time you saw a ref call carrying in a women's game?
Haley was just more comfortable because she got to play her natural position, I think. But she also was very good when she was at the point. And when you can have Poa and you can have Haley on the floor together, I think that we're good. That doesn't mean we're better than if they weren't on the floor, but we're good with both of them on the floor. Carrying, I don't know, when's the last time I've seen a lot of things in this sport. It's called, and it's got to be really, really obvious. But I can't remember the last time I've seen it. I do think, and I mean this, and I've said this to the officials, we got to stop the walking. It's too much walking and shuffling your feet on the perimeter. I get that it doesn't do, it's not game-changing or anything, but a walk is a walk. And I've said it to every official this year, is that we don't need to get lazy. If we walk, we shuffle our feet, call it. And I don't know the last time I've ever seen a carry, but if it's a carry, call it.
You good with what Flage's given you?
Yeah. Flage gets down on herself. She missed those 2 free throws. She shot it, I think, like 15 times. So she was probably the second most shot attempts in that game. Well, were they good shots? Okay, shoot it again. She's just got to quit getting down on herself and think she's got to do everything just right and perfect. Just be a good leader, be a good captain for us. If we put you on the best player, then be a good defensive player for us. And we've got multiple people that can contribute at different times.
I guess in a normal season, how many different, identities do teams go through? And does your team have a different identity in the first 8 SEC games versus the second 8, and maybe even into the postseason play? Do you expect your team to, morph itself a little bit more at that point?
I don't know what you mean by identity, but I'll try to answer it. I think your identity evolves on the floor. And your identity, people can perceive it to be one way, and it really isn't that way. And the way they perceive it may have something to do with the way we play, how we scored it, things like that. I don't know that our identity has changed. We are talented at all positions. We can score at all positions. We don't just have the one scorer that we feed the ball to all the time. So I would say our identity probably is who you're going to guard and who you're not going to guard, because they all are very confident and can score the ball.
Does that raised floor at Vanderbilt freak you out?
The floor at Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year or whatever year I went the first time, I had never coached at the end, on the end zone down there. That's kind of different. Yeah, it's different, and I don't know if they have air condition in there. That's different. You know, it's different. I'm trying to think if I've ever coached someplace where you're down below the surface. I'm sure I have, but I'd have to think. But I don't think I've ever coached at the end zones. So I'll have to go over that with the new ones on when they check in the game and they don't go running from the end zone on the floor. No, I look at it differently. You're a little bit kind of like in practice, you're kind of on that baseline looking at stuff versus from the sideline over there. I think we can go on the sideline. The coaches can. I don't know that I have done that. I think I just stay there on the baseline.
Any more questions in here? We'll finish with Scott.
Okay, since you brought up AIW earlier, did you ever play on a stage when, like in high school or something like that, like an auditorium stage or something like that? I've heard of basketball games back in the day, and you're not that much older than me, so I can say back in the day. Did you ever play on something like that? That's similar. That reminds you of Vanderbilt.
I think all the places I played were courts. They might have had stages at the end but just playing on a stage, I don't recall that I've ever had to do that.
But this is one of the more unusual places.
Yeah, it's unusual. It's unusual, and it's even the seating in there is unusual. Yeah. Y'all know Toby Keith died, right? Why didn't y'all ask me about that? Okay, I'm a country music fan. Okay, Michael, can you name one of his songs? Can you sing it for us? Name it. Start singing. Huh? Okay. Reed, you young. Which one do you know? See? Come on, Reed, don't let me down. Yeah, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was. Red Solo Cup, that should be our, after calling Baton Rouge, it ought to be Red Solo Cup, right? How many of those do we pick up after Saturday night football games? No, I knew of him. You know, when you're in Texas, you got the Oklahoma in the Big 12 with you, and he had his restaurant there in Oklahoma City, and certainly. Oh, yeah, he's a big Sooners fan. Yeah, I like a lot of his music. Yeah. Who's your daddy? Y'all know that one? You want me to tell you the one I sang to Kramer growing up? I want to talk about me, want to talk about I, want to talk about number one. So I would humble him and put him in his place when he thought he was all that. So I'd just start singing that, and it would make him so mad. So, yeah. Life's short, what? I'm going to play it the whole practice. It's going to be nothing but his music, and my girls are going to go nuts. They're going to be shaking their head, okay? Y'all have a good one.